2 Kings 13. In the 23rd year of Judah's king Joash, son of Ahaziah, Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, became king over Israel in Samaria. And he reigned 17 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight, and followed the signs that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit. He did not turn away from them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel, and he handed them over to King Hazael of Aram, and to his son Ben-Hadad during their reigns. Then Jehoahaz saw the Lord's favor, and the Lord heard him, for he saw the oppression the king of Aram inflicted on Israel. Therefore the Lord gave Israel a deliverer, and they escaped from the power of the Arameans. Then the people of Israel returned to their former way of life, but they didn't turn away from the sins that the house of Jeroboam had caused Israel to commit. Jehoahaz continued them, and the Asherah pole also remained standing in Samaria. Jehoahaz did not have any army left, except for 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, and 10,000 foot soldiers, because the king of Aram had destroyed them, making them like dust of threshing. The rest of the events of Jehoahaz resigned along with all his accomplishments and his might are written in the historical record of Israel king. Jehoahaz rested with his ancestors, and he has buried in Samaria. His son Jehoash became king in his place. In the 37 years of Judah's king Joash, Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, became king over Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 16 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He did not turn away from his sins that Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit, but he continued them. The rest of the event of Jehoash reigns, among with all his accomplishments and the power he had to wage war against Judah, King Amaziah, were written in the historical records of Israel kings. Jehoash rested with his ancestors, and Jeroboam sat on his throne. Jehoash was buried in Samaria with the king of Israel. Then when Elisha became sick with the illness from which he died, King Jehoash of Israel went down and wept over him and said, my father, the chariot and horsemen of Israel." Elisha responded, "Get a bow and arrows." So he got a bow and arrows. Then Elisha said to the king of Israel, "Grasp the bow." So the king grasped it, and Elisha put his hand on the king's hand. Elisha said, "Open the east window." So he opened it. Elisha said, "Shoot." So he shot. Then Elisha said, "The Lord's arrow of victory, yes, the arrow of victory over Aram. You are to strike down the Aramites in Apec until you have put an end to them." Then Elisha said, take the arrows." So he took them. Then Elisha said to the king of Israel, "Strike the ground." So he struck the ground 3 times and stopped. Then the man of God was angry with him and said, "You should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times, when you would have struck down Aaron until you had put an end to them. But now you will strike them down. Aaron only 3 times." Then Elisha died and was buried. Now, Moabite raiders used to come into the land in the spring of the year. Once, as the Israelites were burying a man, suddenly they saw a raiding party, so they threw the man into Elisha's tomb. When he touched Elisha's bones, the man revived and stood up. That's amazing. King Ahasuerus of Aram opposed Israel throughout the reign of Jehoahaz, but the Lord was gracious to them, had compassion on them, and turned towards them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He was not willing to destroy them. Even now, he has not banished them from his presence. King Hazael of Aram died, and his son Ben-Hadad became king in his place. Then Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, took back from Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael, the cities that Hazael had taken in war from Jehoash's father, Jehoahaz. Jehoash defeated Ben-Hadad 3 times and recovered the cities of Israel.
2 Kings 14. In the 2nd year of Israel's king Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, Amaziah, son of Joash, became king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoadan. She was from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the Lord's sight, but not like his ancestor David. He did everything his father Joash had done. Yet the high places were not taken away. And the people continued sacrificing and burning incense on the high places. As soon as the king was firmly in his grasp, Amaziah killed his servant who had killed his father the king. However, he did not put the children of the killers to death, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, where the Lord commanded, fathers are not to be put to death because the children are children of children, and children are not to be put to death because the fathers instead each one will be put to death for his own sin. Amaziah killed 10,000 Edomites in Salt Valley. He took Selah in battle and called it Joktheel, which is still its name today. Amaziah then sent messengers to Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, and challenged him, "Come, let's meet face to face." King Jehoash of Israel sent word to King Amaziah of Judah, saying, the Thistle in Lebanon once sent a message to the cedar in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son as a wife. Then a wild animal in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistles. You have indeed defeated Edom, and you have become overconfident. Enjoy your glory and stay at home. Why should you stir up such trouble that you fall? You and Judah with you. But Amaziah would not listen. So King Jehoash of Israel advised he and King Amaziah of Judah met face to face in Beth Shemesh. That belongs to Judah. Judah was routed before Israel, and each man fled to his own tent. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, son of Ahaziah, at Beth Shemesh. Then Jehoash went to Jerusalem and broke down 200 yards of Jerusalem's wall from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate. He took all the gold and silver and all the articles found in the Lord's temple and in the treasuries of the king's palace and some hostages. Then he returned to Samaria. The rest of the event of Jehoash reigned, along with his accomplishments, his might, and how he waged war against King Amaziah of Judah, are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. Jehoash rested with his ancestors, and he was buried in Samaria. With the king of Israel, his son Jeroboam became king in his place. Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, lived 15 years after the death of Israel's king Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz. The rest of the event of Amaziah's reign are written in the historical record of Judah's kings. A conspiracy was formed against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. However, men were sent after him to Lachish, and they put him to death there. They carried him back on horses, and he was buried in Jerusalem with his ancestors in the city of David. Then all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the place of his father Amaziah. After Amaziah, the king rested with his ancestors. Azariah built Elath and restored it to Judah. In the 15th year of Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, Jeroboam, son of Jehoash, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 41 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He did not turn away from all the sins Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had cursed Israel to commit. He restored Israel's border from Lebo Hamath as far as the sea of the Arabah, according to the word of the Lord, the God of Israel, had spoken through his servant. The prophet Jonah, son of Amittai from Gath Hepher, for the Lord saw that the affliction of Israel was very bitter for both slaves and free people. There was no one to help Israel. The Lord had not said he would blot out the name of Israel under heaven. So he delivered them by the hand of Jeroboam, son of Jehoash. The rest of the event of Jeroboam's reign, along with all his accomplishments, the power he had waged war, and how he recovered for Israel Damascus and Hamath, which had belonged to Judah, are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. Jeroboam rested with his ancestors, the king of Israel. His son Zechariah became king in his place.
2 Kings 15. In the 27th year of Israel's king Jeroboam, Azariah, son of Amaziah, became king of Judah. He was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jecholiah. She was from Jerusalem. Azariah did what was right in the Lord's sight, just as his father Amaziah had done. Yet the high places were not taken away. The people continued sacrificing and burning incense on the high places. The Lord afflicted the king, and he had serious skin disease until the day of his death. He lived in quarantine while Jotham, the king's son, was over the household, governing the people of the land. The rest of the events of Azariah's region, along with all his accomplishments, were written in the historical records of Judah's kings. Azariah rested with his ancestors, and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. His son Jotham became king in his place. In the 38th year of Judah's king Azariah, Zechariah, son of Jeroboam, regained over Israel and Samaria over 6 months. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight, as his prosecutors had done. He did not turn away from the sins Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit. Shallum, son of Jabesh, conspired against Zechariah. He struck him down publicly, killed him, and became king in his place. As for the rest of the events of Zechariah's region, they are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. The word of the Lord that he spoke to Jehu was 4 generations of your sons will sit on the throne of Israel, and it was so. In the 39th year of Judah's king Uzzah, Shalaman, Shallum, son of Jabesh, became king. He regained in Sarimim a full month. Then Manahem, son of Gabi, came up from Tirzah to Samaria and struck down Shallum, son of Jabash. There he killed him and became king in his place. As for the rest of the events of Shallum's region, along with the conspiracy that he formed, they are written in the historical record of Israel's kings. At the time, starting from Tirzah, Manahem attacked Tifah, all who were in it, and its territory, because they wouldn't surrender. He ripped open all the pregnant women in the 39 years of Judah's kings. Azariah, Manam, son of Gabi, became king over Israel, and he regained 10 years in Samaria. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight throughout his region. He did not turn away from the sins Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit. King Paul of Assyria invaded the land, so Manahem gave Paul 75,000 pounds of silver so that Paul would support him to strengthen his grasp on the kingdom. Then Manahem exceeded 20 ounces of silver from each of the prominent men of Israel to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria withdrew and did not stay in the land. The rest of the events of Manahem regions, along with all the accomplishments, are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. Manahem rested with his ancestors, and his son Pekahiah became king in his place. In the 15th year of Judah's king Azariah, Pekahiah, son of Menahem, became king over Israel in Samaria, and he regained 2 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight, and did not turn away from his sins Jeroboam, son of Nebat, hath caused Israel to commit. Then his offer, Pekahiah, son of Ramliah, conspired against him and struck him down in Samaria at the citadel of the king's palace with Argob and Ariah. There were 50 Calebite men when he killed Pekah and became king in his place. As for the rest of the events of Pekahiah's region, along with all his accomplishments, they are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. In the 52nd year of Judah's kings, Azariah, Pekah, son of Ramaliah, became king over Israel in Samaria, and he regained 20 years, and He did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He did not turn away from the sins Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to commit. In the day of King Pekah of Israel, King Tiglath-Pileser of Assyria came and captured Ijon, Abel, Beth, Macha, Janoah, Kedesh, Hazor, Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and deported the people to Assyria. When Hoshi, son of Elah, organized a conspiracy against Pekah, son of Remaliah, he attacked him, killed him, and became king in his place in the 20th year of Jotham, son of Uzzah. As for the rest of the events of Pekah's region, along with all his accomplishments, they are written in the historical records of Israel. In the 2nd year of Israel, King Pekah, son of Maliah, Jotham, son of Uzzah, became king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jerusha, daughter of Zadok. He did what was right in the Lord's sight, just as his father Uzzah had done. Yet the high places were not taken away. The people continued sacrificing and burning incense on the high places. Jotham built an upper gate of the Lord's temple. The rest of the events of Jotham's region, along with all his accomplishments, are written in the historical records of Judah's kings. In those days, the Lord began sending Aram's king Rezin and Pekah, son of Remaliah, against Judah. Jotham rested with his ancestors and was buried with his ancestors in the city of his ancestor David. His son Ahaz became king in his place.